Whoa, look out now. Oh, God, that's so close. Oh, son, watch where you going, boy. Welcome back, Martin Sim Racing fans, and we're in Brazil this week for round 8 of the Gran Turismo World Series. This is season 2 of the year 2022. Didn't get a lot of practice time this week, but we are going to do our best to get on that podium, and at worst, hopefully, a top 5 finish. Now, I know I said I'd probably be going with a 2018 Ford GT race car, but I changed my mind, of course, like I always do, and I went with the Mustang Group 3 race car. And we're going to do our best to make the Ford Motor Company proud and bring home a podium finish, at worst a top 5. Let's get going. Let me show you what took place in the qualifying. And we're going to pick up here on lap 4 of qualifying. You can see there's 4 minutes left on the clock here in qualifying. And I have not ran a great lap yet. In practice, I was able to get a 133.2, I believe was my best time. And even if I put that time up, I know that's not going to be good enough for pole position. Like I have had in weeks past and been on the pole, I knew I wasn't going to get pole position. Like I said, I just didn't have this track down pat, but I was just using a lot of feel and some references that I was able to obtain through practice, but I just didn't have it down pat like I have in the weeks past. So if I could get in that top 5, top 4 to start the race, I would feel pretty good, because then you do have a chance. Even top 6, you know, would be okay. So I'm going to come around here. I'm just hoping to get in the 133s, because you can see so far my best time has been on 134.6, and that's just not going to cut it. I'm in 10th place currently as I'm doing this lap, but each sector I go through, it's giving me like a best time. So I know I'm on pace to get probably a 133. I can usually get in the high 133s. So if I could just swing a really good lap in here and get in the low 133s, I was going to be really happy, and I thought it would give me a chance to get in that top 5 to start the race. We come around this last corner. We hit it pretty good on that last curve. For me, I hit it pretty good. I know it's not for the other A+ drivers. It's probably not great, but like I said, I didn't get a lot of practice time this week, and I'm not a seasoned veteran at all when it comes to this competitive sim racing. But I'm trying to get there. So we're going to come across on a 133.8. So that's not great, but that was my best time I was able to put up in qualifying, and that will put me in 7th place. So 7th place gives me a shot realistically to get into the top 5. Now, I don't feel like winning the race is really a possibility starting in 7th for me, but getting in the top 5 is a real legit shot of that, and I will take a top 5 finish. Top 5, I'll be happy. I'll take it and go on. You know, a podium would be great. I recognize Ty. He's a fast driver. Did race against him, I believe, in Laguna Seca. So a top 5 finish is possible. A podium is going to be very, very tricky, but hey, you never know. Old Martin might pull it out here. So let's get right into it and see how we did. Now, also, we have 64.5 behind us, who we raced against last week, and he is going to be sporting the Ford GT 2018 race car. So it'll be interesting to see how our Mustang does against that car, since that was our second choice. But here we're starting off in the live view of what I actually was looking at during the race. And you can see I got the traction control on 1. And what I did was I put the traction control on 1 at times when I felt like it was a tricky section or took a lot more skill for that section. And I bump it down to 0 on the straightaways and on the wide open sections. Because these curves, the way they're shaped, it throws my car off balance real easily. And I can do a 360 very quickly. And if you wreck, your race is over. So you might as well drive within your limits and try to drive safely and avoid contact and make good passes. And hey, if we can just pass 2 people, we'll get another top 5 finish, which I will take it. I will definitely take it. So you can see here starting off, just trying to stay with that front group. And they're running pretty tight up there. It looks like 1st and 2nd place, I'm kind of battling pretty good. And 3rd place is right in there close. And we're kind of hanging back. So we need to kind of catch up and play it close right here. And hoping to get close on these curves. We come around this curve here, and you'll notice that there's a caution and a car's went off the track. So let's go back and look and see what happens. He gets pitted, basically, knocks him off the track, and I believe that guy was in 2nd place, so that stinks for him. Plus he gets a 1 second penalty, which I don't really understand why he got the penalty, but oh well, we got a position. So now we're up to 6th place. Let's jump back in here and pick up where we left off. 6th place. So we've already gained 1 position. So now we've really got to beat the Toyota in front of us to get in that top 5. We got to beat him, we got to pass him, and then we got to maintain that position. That's my goal. That's really what I'm thinking right now, because you can see there's some little bit of separation between him and the 4th place guy. And so, it looks like everybody's a lot quicker up there in front of us. But the people behind us, they're pretty good in our rear view mirror, so we're kind of settling in here by ourselves right now. So I'm getting worried I'm not going to catch that Toyota. But here we are on this wide open stretch. I'm saying, come on, Ford, run like a scalded dog and catch that Yoda. Let's go. And so we come up here, starting lap 2, and I'm getting closer. I can feel it. I'm getting a little closer, and we're going to try to make an effort to really get up on these people here on this next straightaway, because sometimes I can be real quick through that section. So let's see what happens right here. So we're going to skip ahead right here to a little bit later in lap 2, and we catch up with 3, 4, and 5, and they're all battling for position. So I'm able to catch up because of that battle, but then they kind of run off and leave me again. And 5, he's hanging back. That Toyota's still right there in my grasp, and I try to cut the corner here, get a little overzealous, and I make contact. Man, that was dirty driving on my part. I shouldn't have done that. But, you know, I'm still learning. I'm trying to get better, and I apologize. I'm sorry. You know, if you're watching this video, I'm sorry I did that. But you can see it in slow motion. Look at it from one more angle right here. It did not cause any damage to my car. I didn't take any damage to slow me down, and he was able to maintain his position on me. So, you know, it wasn't too bad, but it really wasn't something we can do as we move up into the A lobbies and the A plus lobbies. We're going to have to get that under control. You know, right there, I shouldn't have backed off, but it's just, you just got to learn from experience. I just don't have the experience to know when to push it, when to not. Or I could have cut the corner a little more and probably made it. But you can see here, he gets his position back, so no harm done. He's there. He's solidly in front of me, and, you know, nothing's wrong. So you know, kind of we took the outside on that turn back there and kind of let him get the inside and get his position back. So but now it's all fair game. He tries to block me as I go around the left, but then he backs off. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to cause any trouble. But then he goes wide right here. He goes wide, and he loses control, but he regains it. And I slowed up because I'm like, don't hit him and knock him out. But he gets a half-second penalty for running off the track. So now I see blood in the water, baby, and it's time to go for it. When we get to this penalty line up here, we have got to go for it. You can look at this again right here. What happens is he feels the pressure. He feels me trying to take that inside. And I think he was worried that I would hit him again like I did earlier, and and it probably got in his head, and he went a little wide. So I mean, you know, my bad driving may have helped me out right there, but I don't feel good about doing and being that kind of driver. Is not what I want to be. But it was an accident. It wasn't on purpose, and I was able to slow up enough where it wasn't too bad. So let's just watch what happens here. We get on up here, on into this lap. When we get to the end, there is a penalty line, and he will have a half-second penalty. So I need to maintain my distance as close as possible to him to continue to put the pressure on him, but also when he slows down, that's going to be my opportunity to get into that top 5. Now, it's going to be hard to maintain top 5 if we do get there, because he's obviously maybe a little faster than us. So let's watch what happens right here from this angle as he goes across the penalty line right there, and just momentarily for half a second slows him down. So the Mustang doesn't catch up right away, but we do have a little more momentum than he has, and we're able to pull up right beside him. And this time, hey, it's mine, and I'm going to take that inside. I'm going to guard the inside and make him go the long way around. Watch how this sets this up. So we're on the inside. Now we're going to be on the outside. We give him space. He cuts across the corner, no penalty. But then we're on the inside for the final critical turn of the straightaway. So I wanted to be set up to where when I got to that critical turn, I'd be on the inside, and I'd push ahead, have the faster line on that last critical turn, and it worked out perfect, and I was able to get my pass in and get in 5th place. I want to go back and watch this again from my live view perspective, and you can see what I was seeing when this happened. So I could pull it right beside him, and I'm thinking, hold the inside line, force him outside. He's got plenty of space, but he's going to be slower. Cut over this curve just a little. Now I'm the one who's got to stay out and give him a little room. We give him just enough. And now we're riding on that curb because we can feel him right there. But now I see him in my rearview mirror, and I'm gone. But now I'm worried that he's going to draft me and come back and overtake me. But it doesn't happen because you can see we got about a half-second lead on him. And we maintain that lead going into, following the rest of this lap. So now it's just a matter of holding this position for the rest of the race, because a top 5 finish is going to be great for me. Now the 4th place guy is up there. He's not, at this point, he's probably 6 seconds ahead. But he just keeps getting further and further away. And you can see here on lap 5, we've skipped ahead. We're doing pretty good, but watch what happens right here. Bam, son, I take a lick from the Toyota in the rear end. And I mean, I can feel it pushes me out wide a little bit, but I maintain my composure and I come back in. The Toyota's nowhere to be found, and we are still holding our position in 5th place. You can see the lick right there. It's a good lick, but it doesn't look at the rear of my car. There's no damage to my car, which is great. But watch what happens on his car. Boom, he hits me. Look, it's blinking red. He's got the damage. He's going to try to pass anyway. So I mean, he's not necessarily the cleanest driver in the world, you know what I'm saying? But the damage slows him down. He cannot overtake me, and he's going to lose a position here to the Subaru and get into a battle with the Subaru, which is going to help us get even more space between us. So that's why I like that new damage model. You know, I get hit in the rear end. My car, sometimes it will take damage, but it didn't take enough to slow me down. I didn't take any that time, but a lot of times you won't take enough to really slow you down, but that front end damage is severe. So by hitting me like that, it really slowed his car down for a long time, and was able to get a bigger lead on him. So I really like that new damage model because of that situation right there. Now for the rest of the race, we just got to ride it out and hope that we can keep enough distance between us and him to maintain a top 5. That's the goal now, because Ty in 4th, I think he's worked up to about 10, 11 seconds ahead of us, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, they're all running together, and we're stuck back here by ourselves in 5th place. So you can see coming across here, it's going to be the end of lap 6, or the beginning of lap 6, and you can see the gap that we have. It's not a big gap, but it's probably about a second gap, maybe a second and a half, that we've developed between us and the Toyota. And he's battling with the Subaru too. The Subaru is not giving up on trying to get that 6th spot away from him. So that's good. That helps keep us out in front. So I'm feeling pretty confident right now, as long as I don't wreck. So I kind of leave my traction control up to 1 and just ride it out. Don't make any mistakes. And you can see at the end of lap 11, I've got a pretty good lead as we come around here to start lap 11. And there's not much action for the rest of the race. And hopefully we don't wreck, and we just finish this thing out and get old Martin another top 5 finish here in the World Series event. So we're going to come around here to the final lap, lap 12, starting the lap. We've still got about a 1.5 second lead over the Toyota and the Subaru, and we are about 12 seconds behind 4th place. So you can see it right there, about a 1.5, 2 second lead. And we're going to come around here to the end of lap 12. We're going to finish in 5th place, get another top 5. Not much practice, like I said, this week. So I'll take the top 5 and be good with it. One thing that was interesting about this race, though, is 1, 2, 3, and 4 were so close the whole race. So, you know, and then we kind of by ourselves, and then we had another group behind us. But I want to go back here and watch this Subaru and Toyota battle it out behind me for this 6th position, because it was a pretty good battle. And right here, the Subaru spins out, going around the curve a little bit. See, if he'd had that traction control on, that wouldn't happen. And the Subaru comes ahead of him, and he's going to take 6th place. So now let's wrap it up and look at my DR. My DR is still about the halfway mark on B. It did move up a little bit this week, but not much. So we're able to maintain it, and we got a little bit of bump on, but not much. So going forward, one of the big things on this channel is trying to get to A+. So the next goes, we got to fill that meter up right there and get B all the way to A. And I really want to do that before the start of the next season, which means I'm going to have to hit these daily races pretty hard. So I'm going to have to find one I like, find one I'm good at, get the track down pat, get the car down pat, and just do it over and over again and really build that DR up and get into that A rating. If I can get to the A rating and racing the GT1 League, I'll be really happy with that. That's a good goal for next season. So, you know, I wanted to let you know, I wasn't able to pull up to show you the graph, but I did finish 9th in Ford in the GT2 League. So that was pretty good, because, you know, when we started this season, I was barely a B driver, and I was just happy to be in the GT2 League. So for me to finish 9th in Ford, I mean, I'm happy with that, because the guys ahead of me, most of them are almost A drivers. A couple of them are now A drivers since the season started. They started as top of Bs, and now they moved into A's. So, you know, for us to be starting at the bottom of B and to end up, you know, in the middle of B just from doing World Series races, and also to be 9th for Ford, you know, I think Ford will have us back next season if we want to come back to Ford. That's going to be a thing too, is I got to figure out what manufacturer I want to drive for. Ford's got my heart, you know, and I really love driving for Ford, and they've done good. I mean, they've got some good cars, especially with the GT3 League. So we'll have to see, well, excuse me, with the GT3 cars or Group 3 cars. But we'll have to see. You know, I might have to go another manufacturer just to keep up, because the competition is getting tougher, and I can't be behind the 8 ball with an inferior car on this game. I think, you know, I want to look at the schedule and see where the races are, you know, see what races are Group 4, what races are Group 3, and just see what other people are picking, and just evaluate what cars are going to be the quickest at each track, and kind of try to be strategic about which manufacturer I pick. But you know, that may all be a moot point, because we might have to race Ford all the way to the end of 2022. I'm just not sure. The manual says you get to change every season, and you know, this was a season and you had season 1, but I wasn't able to change season 2 to a different manufacturer. I had to stick with Ford, so I may have to stick with them for season 3 as well. So it may be a moot point, but if we have to stay with Ford, hey, I'm happy with it. I got my liveries worked out pretty good now, and I know how to drive the Fords. I know the cars pretty well. I've got them all, so we'll be good to go if that's the case either way. But you guys keep tuning in. I'm going to keep putting out videos. I'm going to put up some daily races. It may be into next week before I get any up, but I will be getting more content out to you for you to watch and keep up with my progress. I appreciate you tuning in. If you've watched this whole video and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Go ahead and click the subscribe button. Let's get you signed up, because I usually put out a video every week. So I'm going to keep trying to keep that pace, but I want some good daily races for my next video. So y'all have a good week. Have a good rest of your week. Enjoy yourself. Talk to you later.